Do you have recurring negative thought? Today, I will share with you a complete, sustainable, long-lasting solution that will liberate you from recurring negative thought. So this is the second set of 3 training best practices video that will help you overcome recurring negative thought. I am Coach Soul. Welcome to our Performance Edge Weekly Wisdom, where spirit drives performance. So in today's topic on how to overcome recurring negative thought, I will show you specifically the best practices in high performance psychology that you will be able to implement immediately whenever you find yourself with recurring negative thought. So before I move further, I want to make sure that you take advantage of all the 3 trainings. Today's video is a part 2 in a series of 3 videos of teachings about how to overcome recurring negative thought. So if you haven't seen part 1, I strongly and highly recommend you go watch it and pause this video right now, because in part 1, I lay the foundation of what I will be teaching here on how to overcome recurring negative thought. So to give you a simple metaphor on why part 1 is important, and you need to go watch it if you have it. For example, you and I know that a turtle will never outrun a cheetah, right, in a speed race. It's obvious, isn't it? But why? Because of their structure. So in part 1, I address the relevance of physiology in cognitive performance. In other words, if you are aware and you decide to make some conscious adjustment in your habits, might be diet, might be exercising, or other best practices based on what I share in the video of part 1. For example, if you can generate some happy hormone neurotransmitter at the right moment, you might positively affect and eradicate the negative recurring thought pattern you might have. So again, I highly suggest you go watch part 1 first. Now, so today, let's jump in. So I'm going to show you the power of high performance psychology. So first, I'm going to start at a high level so you can clearly see and understand where the best performer get their performance edge from. And then second, I'll show you the best practices in high performance psychology that you will be able to use immediately whenever you find yourself with recurring negative thought. So then in part 3, which will be the next video, I'll give you the next level of understanding that the quantum law teaches from an applied spirit level, so you can be on your way to overcoming and eradicate recurring negative thought. But now let's jump in. So today, right now, I'm going to assume that you have watched part 1 and that despite all the proactive solution that I share in the video, right, you still have recurring negative thought, right? So meaning you met already your cognitive performance assessment and you are taking care of the basis, right, physiology and physical well-being. And this is important here to note, because if your negative thoughts are still reoccurring, the reality is that no matter how strong-willed you are, or how smart you are, or how good intentioned you are, if your physiology is not sound, it's not on point, it will be hard for you to have a vigorous cognitive performance. So with that said, the best in class in the world, in all culture, regardless of their field of mastery, they have a secret over everyone else. You know why? Because they understand one key word that gives high performance psychology an edge when it comes to producing the best performance and the best results. You know what that word is? Leverage. Yes, leverage. So that's the biggest secret in high performance psychology, leverage. So I'm going to develop that in a bit, but I want to remind you about the power of that concept. Archimedes, well known for his quote, "Give me a place to stand and a lever long enough and I will move the world. Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it and I shall move the world." So in our case today, you might say, okay, Saul, now what leverage are we talking about here? So it's the leverage that human species have above all other species, and I'm here in nature, you can imagine. So it's a power to manage your attention. So it sounds simple, but don't dismiss it, because as a descendant of Homo double sapiens, or Homo sapiens sapiens, from 150,000 years ago of practice, you can claim and say, I know that I know, right? Meaning, you can think about what you're thinking about. Yes? So I want you to not discount that understanding, because the ability to think about what you are thinking about is that capacity that gives you the power to manage your attention. It's that ability that gives human beings our evolutionary edge versus a cheetah that can run faster than the best Olympic runners, or the eagle that flies swiftly. So now let's bring it down to specifics. How can understanding that principle help you manage negative recurring thought? So from part one, you remember that the different type of brainwave frequency and the mode of operation, right? We talk about the delta waves, right? Frequency from 0 to 4 hertz, theta 4 to 8 hertz, alpha 8 to 12 hertz, beta 12 to 38, and gamma 30 to 80 hertz, right? So here, when you think about that, when you think about what you're thinking about, we are functioning at the beta brainwave frequency level. And because beta is your state of alertness in your daily activities. And there are 3 beta levels. There is a low beta, which is from 12 to 15 hertz. So when you are thinking, and then you got the beta waves themselves, 15, 22 hertz, activity of focus. And you got a high beta, which ranges from 22 to 38 hertz, when you're excited or you're anxious, or when you experience something new or complex thought, right? And also sometimes it's important to notice here that when we are thinking about what we are thinking about, we are highly alert and conscious, and that will be activating the gamma frequency, which is from 30 to 80 hertz waves, because they're the fastest brain wave, right, from 30 to 80 hertz. So you might be asking, now I know all these frequencies, why is all this relevant? Basically, because most of the leveraging activities happen in beta and gamma wave frequencies. So the practical training for your cognitive performance will be to learn into tapping into higher beta and into the gamma wave. Even better, because the gamma are the fastest brain wave. So it's all connected. Can you see that? And why all this is relevant? Because different frequencies will give you access to different information. And I'm going to prove it right now. And let's put it into practice right now. Literally, as you are hearing me and watching me right now, what were you just thinking about just 10 seconds ago? Can you connect to that question? What was I thinking about just a minute ago? Feel free to just pause for a couple of seconds right now. What were you thinking about before I ask you that question? Here lies your lever and your power. And now you might be asking, where is the fulcrum, right? Where is the fulcrum, using Archimedes analogy? So let me share with you the different fulcrum points on how you can use that lever. Because the fulcrum points are the different questions that allow you to steer and manage your attention. Ultimately, they are: what was I thinking about? Where is my attention? So now when you ask yourself the question, let's be clear. Are you thinking about the limiting perception or limiting factors? Meaning, is your attention on what you don't have? Is your attention in what you cannot have? Is your attention in what you cannot do, or what you cannot be, or what should not be? Or are you thinking about what you have, what you could have, what you can do? Of course, I do not need to be a wizard. If you're having recurring negative thoughts, I'm sure you think about the limiting factors. Am I correct? So now the next fulcrum is what moves the needle. The needle, it's action. So are you going to act, or are you going to spiral down? How do you know that you're spiraling down? Because negative thoughts are generated by the questions you ask yourself, and that lock your attention. And those are kind of 4 or 5 main questions, or a variation of those, that are recurring, and that this is going to help you right now, that you've been asking yourself without paying attention. Let's zoom in to those underlying questions. Why does this happen to me? Why is this happening now? Is this all there is? So these are underlying questions that you have no control, that you have no power, that you see yourself as a victim, or you see yourself as powerless. Or the extreme opposite is a rage, a fighting mode. No way! This is not supposed to be this way. I know better. This should not be this way. This is not acceptable. So as you can see, right there you are at crossroads and you are spiraling down. You are going either victim or rage mode. So here is a fulcrum right there. This is where you use your power with another question. That's a hack. That's a hack right there of a high performance psychology at work. And you ready for that moment? That's a leveraging moment. That's a leveraging moment. And here is a hack that high performer use. At that moment, they ask themselves, what can I learn here? How can this benefit me to grow how can this help me to progress and move forward? By doing that, by locking your attention, you regain your power and you take charge of your thoughts. And you are back to becoming that winner you know you can be. So that's what I want to share today in the high performance psychology approach in part 2 that I wanted to address. And in the third, I'll talk about the spiritual dimension. So I hope this served you today. And I really can go more and add more, but I want to just be succinct here. So please comment and this help you, right? And if you want to know more, you want to continue this conversation with me, please sign up to our brand new community, Performance Edge Wisdom Community. And the link is right there. And you will get access to more tips and relevant answers to your real problems. And if you have any specific question you want me to talk about, you can submit them in the comments as well. Or you can go to www.thequantumdo.com/video. Or if you want to be discreet and you want to be confidential, you can just email support@thequantumdo.com. And I will see you in part 3, take you to that next level. Don't forget, failure is a necessary prerequisite to human excellence. Till next time, live your truth. Coach Soul out.